Check.
Check 2. Raise. Checking a raise? Cool.
Hi, everybody. This is Justin with theactionreport.com. Here with my trusty sidekick, Mark Griffin.
Good morning.
I mean, distinguished guest.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah.
Mr. Mark Griffin.
Yeah. We're here.
Yeah.
Once
So,
again.
Nothing real pressing this week. We just wanted to cover some stuff we talked about and get into some of the tar matches. It's just, you got anything exciting? Got anything pissed you off this week you want to talk about?
No. I'll make just a couple light things. I want to say a couple, AZ Billiards, which, by the way, if you guys don't go to AZ Billiards, you really should. It's kind of like the headquarters of day-to-day news, and we appreciate what they do for us. That's Jerry Forsyth and Mike Howerton. They've been kind enough to put the notification, and after we do our podcast, it's up on their front page right underneath Run Out Radio. But they also keep there's no collaboration here. We are everything we do are our views, good or bad.
Right.
And Mike made a little statement on that, which I respect him every bit to say that. And the nice thing is that we're working together even though we don't agree totally.
Right.
And he actually said that maybe we'll do a simulcast or something.
Yeah.
So that's good that we're trying to work with them, and they're a lot of horsepower in the industry. I mean,
well, Jerry's going to be here.
yeah, it's true.
For TAR 22, Shane and Earl. He's going to be calling it.
That would be a perfect TAR 23, by the way, is me and Jerry.
Yeah, well, TAR 23 is already set, sir.
23 and a half?
That's Oscar, yeah, 23 and an eighth. Or maybe like 20 something.
You can stop now.
Yeah. But no, yeah, we really appreciate Mike and Jerry, putting our podcast up on the website. And we see eye to eye on a lot of things. Some things we don't, but we've always gotten along real well, even when
we don't get along.
Yeah, even when you don't get along. It's civil, which is the way it ought to be.
No, I even had somebody send me give me some, it's good rep on AZ Billiards, because I said last week that, everybody should be able to disagree civilly, and they said, good post. Of course, just like you, I go outside and knock your head off when we, But no, it's important to be able to discuss things. Nothing gets resolved in this industry is, like I was telling you earlier, some days there's good days and there's bad days.
Right.
There's up days and there's down days. Some days you just wake up and say, what the hell am I doing in this industry? Because there's a lot of down here. It's a little nuts. Where's the redeeming factor? I keep believing something's going to happen, but I keep seeing more and more fractures all the time.
Yeah.
And, the industry people have got to start working together.
There's good people out there.
There are.
And that's the thing is, this thing will, if you let it beat you down, it will. But, when I get down on, because, you sit there and I know exactly what you mean. You look in the mirror and you go, you have to be the dumbest son of a bitch I've ever met in my life.
Because even the so-called industry leaders, they don't work together. And I'm not going to name names, but you know a couple of things I'm talking about there. There's organizations that is their job. And they don't even pick up the phone anymore. I'm just really frustrated.
For those of you not following along, Mark's talking about the BCA.
Well, those guys. Yeah.
Go ahead, man. Get it out.
No, I'm not going to get into it. We're still civil. I want to stay civil. But it's unfortunate because I do have some philosophical beefs with the BCA. There's supposed to be a player awareness, and I think they've forgotten. When it was formed in 1948, it was formed as a players' association.
Right.
Then they became more or less a trade association, and now they're a starving trade association. So, without players, nothing works. So, it's a discussion for another day. But hopefully everything will work out.
We have a question here. Is Ken Schumann still going to call TAR 22 now that he got the call up to be a referee for the Mosconi Cup from Tim Crazy Man? And yes, mainly because TAR 22 will be over before Mosconi Cup starts. TAR 23 with Oscar Dominguez and Raj Handal will be going on in the evenings after the day's play at Mosconi Cup finishes. Now, Let's get back to you digging a hole with the BCA.
No.
What were we talking about?
No, we've retired that steam shovel.
My only statement on the BCA is that I think this industry needs one thing more than anything else, in my opinion, and that's leadership.
Yeah, and direction.
Yeah, not somebody, real honest to God leadership. Yeah. And it's tough to do, and I don't even know if it's possible in pool because of the.
Oh yeah, it's possible.
But and I think the closest entity to it that could do it right now, as things sit, is the BCA.
Yeah, but they need to be aware of what's going on in the real world of pool. The BCA has to survive on manufacturers that sell pool tables and pool balls and pool cloth, but players really are an important aspect of that, and they seem to be ignoring the players. Mm-hmm. I think that's a recipe for disaster.
Well, I was talking to, it's not just the players, I think, that are kind of, and I don't think it's anyone's fault so much as kind of, it's almost like a drift. Once something gets started, it's almost like an iceberg. Once it starts rolling, it has that
momentum,
institutional momentum. I think I've heard it been called. But I was talking to one of the largest retailers, not largest but I mean a guy who's at a lot of tournaments, always got the biggest booth.
Yeah, okay.
He's got his finger on the pulse of what's selling to pool players. He's out there face to face with them more than anybody. He's not looking at them across the keyboard screen. And he said that he basically dropped out of the BCA because, number one, it was pretty damn expensive to be a member, and number two, basically the way that they changed their voting procedures, he was explaining to me, was that basically his vote didn't count.
There's a little disenfranchising there. Then they shrunk the size of their board from 14 members to 9. Mm-hmm. The leagues got caught up in that too because there used to be 2 room members represented the room owners of the U.S. In fact, that's how I first got on the BCA board. I was appointed to finish off Matt Rosendahl, who had he resigned. He used to be out of Billiard Emporium or Billiard Underground in Kalamazoo. He's the one that started the U.S. Open One Pocket. And now there's only one room owner, and they put the leagues in the same category as the room owners. So it's really kind of similar, but not really. They're contradictory. So the players are just not getting the representation they need. I'm not in favor of it being a player-run organization, but there needs to be some input. There needs to be some awareness. I would venture that half the board, I could say, couldn't run a 9-ball rack. They may not run 5 balls. That's just not, I'm a little more of a purist than that. I think you got to know what it is you're talking about.
Callie Red came up with a good question.
Mr. Gregg.
Say what's up with him, and hopefully we'll see you later on.
Yeah, Mr. Gregg's going to come and pay us a visit this weekend.
What are the 2 most positive things you see in pool over the past couple of years?
CSI. Yeah. I really will. I mean, we're doing more than our fair share, and we're probably doing more than we can do well. WPA is getting a lot more money in their world tournaments. I mean, it used to be a world tournament, 30,000 added. Now you got to be 150 to 200 to be a world tournament, and they've got themselves in a nice position. You got the Arab countries and China fighting it out, and they keep raising the ante. So in a couple of years, you might have $250,000 added tournaments. It's very close to that. I think they have one now. So. There's not a lot of bright spots. Streaming is a bright spot. It's getting people to pool. But I think you're going to find, like everybody says, there should be a reality show. You're going to find that the whole concept of TV is going to change in the next few years. We've been saying this for a few years too, but it's going to change. It's in the process of changing. I mean, you can take what's on your computer and put it on your big screen TV, wireless. Mm-hmm. You can, pretty soon there's going to be a gazillion channels. That's good. It's also bad because how do you get any identity? Because, if I sell pizzas in Dothan, Alabama, people might know it. If I sell pizzas in New York, nobody's going to know it. Right. But there's so many people that are nobodies because you've got so many more. It's a funny.
Yeah. Well, that's where you have to build, some sort of brand loyalty, and awareness and things like that.
Another thing on Greg's, I think Diamond has been a real asset to pool.
Absolutely.
And there's a couple of reasons. I'm partners in Diamond, so let's get this, so there's no, but that's the reason I'm partners, because I believe in the product. The fact that we can do 9-foot tables and do events. Under today's market, the U.S. Open wouldn't exist. I don't think there'd be a 9-foot event exist that needs more than 8 tables.
Yeah.
Because nobody else can do it.
Logistics would
The logistics. You've got to bring mechanics in, you've got to do this, you've got to do that, and you're gambling, because I have seen tables where they threw a tournament together and the guy lags and he scratches on the lag, because that happened one time. I don't know if you remember that.
So far, no.
Yeah. You've got too many more. But anyhow, Diamond, so, there's a lot of decent things that are going on, but the economics
just to give you an idea about Diamond, I use this kind of analogy all the time, is just look around at how many pro 9-foot events. Now, take away all the ones that are played on a Diamond table.
Yeah. The only ones that are on Brunswick's are the ones in pool rooms.
Yeah. So, I mean,
it's just,
that's not to say it couldn't be done, but chances are, when you add that much more level of complexity and things like that, I mean, and they were done like that for a lot of years, but things change.
Things were cheaper and you had bigger participation. It's just getting tougher and tougher. But I'm an optimist. I think tomorrow will be better than today.
Pool Addiction wanted to know, will TAR cover the final rounds of the BCA PL team or singles championships? And the answer to that is no.
And there's several reasons why.
Yeah.
People think it's simple. Now, there's a possibility that could change, but at the Riviera, it won't. The Riviera does not have the infrastructure to support streaming of any kind. To stream the U.S. Open 10 ball and the U.S. Open 1 pocket, which we can charge and do a pay-per-view. The satellite dish costs us $6,000. Just the dish and the drops. We have to have 3 drops. It's not feasible to start dropping them here, there, and everywhere. And you have union issues.
Yes.
And, pretty soon it just becomes way, way, way unfeasible. Yeah. And now when we move to the Rio, it's a little different situation. They got banned with, all you can do is walk over the wall and plug it in.
Right.
Remember how good it was down at the Golden Nugget?
Right.
I mean, you couldn't believe it. It was just,
it was beautiful.
Man. But they just beefed it up because they were doing that poker after dark there.
Well, plus all the World Series of Poker stuff.
Yeah, so you could shove a truck down that pipe,
Right, yeah. And that's going to be awesome.
And so it may change, but it's more than sees the eye. I would love to do it. It would be interesting to see what kind of turnout you get for a feed. Now, we did do a feed one year on the Grand Masters. We did it one time, and then we had Andy do it one time, and then we had Don Ackerlow do it. And the numbers were not that good. Because it may look great when you're sitting there, but on the camera, no light, choppy, it just doesn't work.
Right.
It's just a non-controlled environment, and it sounds better than it really is. But we're not giving up on it. Mm-hmm. And now when we're at the Rio, we may be able to build a finals arena and really do some cool stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Because we don't have more days, but we're going to have 20% more tables, which equates to more days because you can churn faster. So we're open to it. You're not the only person that's asked that question. It's been asked several times, so I just don't have the right answer yet. Ask again tomorrow. No.
Here you go. Watches said, and maybe I think you should explain why this just, and I know he knows, but how it doesn't work that way. Charge each BCA player an extra $1 in membership and do it.
And to pay for the costs of doing
whatever,
streaming? Well, the BCA is a different type of league. Everybody thinks, well, I think everybody's yardstick, because it goes by how the APA model is, which is everybody's more familiar with it. They have approximately 250,000 members. We have 60,000. The APA charges $25 to join, and the home office gets 20% of everybody's weekly dues. The BCA charges $15 a year, period. End of story for 12 months. We don't have the finances. We can't go out and say, all right, Mr. League player, you're going to play 12 times this year, give us another $12. They're just not going to do it. It's the mechanics just are not there to support that type of system. That's one of the reasons why USA Pool League was developed, because it'll pay out way more than the APA will, has a better handicap system. You can piggyback on the BCA Nationals, so you already have the best nationals you can go to. So it's kind of the best of both worlds, and it creates the funding so where we can support additional amateur type streaming things, or we can support the pro in the manner we see fit. The main factor is there. We basically have no overhead for running the USA Pool League system because we're already doing all that for the BCA Pool League system. We already have the office, phones, insurance, staff, computers. So it's a free roll for us. And so we can take what we would need as to pay the overhead to push back into the industry. So in a nutshell, that's the way it works. And that's also a fairly common question. Anytime you guys have questions, call us at the office, send us an email. It's easy to find me. Just go to AZ Billiards or any post. I usually put my phone number or email address, or I'll be happy to tell them. The office is 702-719-7665.
We had a question from Sacktown Tom. How do you link league players and pro events?
Link. I'm not sure if you mean side by side. A side by side to me would be like what we do at our nationals. You have a bunch of amateurs and you have some pros, and hopefully they'll support each other. I'm assuming he's going to say link. How do you get a person where they can start off as an amateur, and they get better and better and better, and pretty soon they graduate into being a pro player?
That's the magic bullet, in my opinion.
Well, and it's tough because
WPBA did it. Not through a league.
No, through an association.
But through a path.
Yes.
If you walked into a pool room one day and said, how do I become a men's professional pool player? There's really no answer.
There is no answer.
But back in the day, even now, today to a certain extent, a woman could walk into a pool room and say, okay, I want to play on the WPBA. Okay, well, sit down. Let me tell you what you got to do to do
sure,
that.
You start in this pool room,
you have to go here, and if you go here, you go here.
Get to the regional tour championship.
And then that, that if you don't have that, and you got what we got now, and it's just every swinging dick can go just pay an entry fee and be in.
Well, you have something even worse than that. For some reason, and it's always been there, but it's getting worse and worse and worse. The better players don't want to play their equals. You get a master player, they want to play in the open division. You become a master player, you earned it. You are a master player, but I don't want to play the other master players. Huh? And it's an epidemic.
No, it all goes back to what I said. The mindset in pool, I'm going to tell you right now, in my opinion, this is why pool sucks right now.
Okay, we're ready.
The mindset that the majority of people, a lot of people, at least maybe I'm jaded here, and I'm certain I am. The idea is that they're going to make money by doing the activity.
I want to agree with you. We were talking about this earlier. You like to shoot guns.
That they're going to take money out. That's the whole thing. They want to take. Basically, that's it. They want to take more than they give.
And I used to
like you said, you know what? If you take out $100,000, give 10 back.
Yeah.
To grow what you know what I mean.
But from a participant's viewpoint, like I was saying, you like to shoot guns. Well, they have this huge national organization, and you can be the best shooter in the world, and you don't get any money. You get a holster and some bullets and maybe a gun or something. But you don't get any prize money. You don't get any added money. World Series of Poker.
There is no added money.
World Series of Poker takes like only 5 or 6% out, which is $8 million. But there is no added money to the World Series of Poker. There is no added money to bowling. I used to bowl. Everybody shows up to the bowling tournament. What do you get? You get a trophy. I'm not sure, and this added money concept is really punishing pool on the professional level. The amateur level, it's their own money, so it's a little different. But I don't know the answer without sponsorship. Now you can say football. they do in their own way get added money because it's through sponsorship. You know, Coca-Cola gives them $20 million, and so they use that to pay the salaries. In essence, it's added money. We're not at that point, and it would be tremendous if we had the tools to put in a program similar to what the women had, or a process. We talked about this last week. The egos involved make this pretty tough. You know, the men just haven't been willing to really sit down and work it out. Could it be done? Absolutely. Is it going to take somebody in a pretty it's going to take a very charismatic leader. It's going to have to take the power of the BCA, because that's the points that goes to the WPA events. And all these pieces have to be in place. And right now, they're just not going to get there unless somebody just grabs it and shakes it loose. I don't know. Like I say, it's frustrating.
I like to say Marty Herman. Have a good one, buddy.
Yeah, Marty's a character. Yeah.
He's banned now, so kiss my white ass.
Okay. Yeah, I've known Marty, and he's met him, it's 16, 18 years ago at the Sands events. You know, pool player, right? Pro pool player?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, well, here's another misconception. Pool is a multi-billion-dollar industry. All right, which
I don't even think it hits. I think
why can't a $250,000 tour be sponsored by the Q industry? Here's something.
Whoa. Yeah, that's
here's
misinformation.
Here's something that keeps me up late at night. I know
everybody, really,
a lot of people in the pool industry, especially in the United States, and you know more than I do on the industry side. I can't think of 10 people outside of maybe somebody who owns a big distribution company. But I'm talking about, let's just say, salaried positions. I can't think of 10 positions that pay $100,000 a year.
You're right. No, it's tough.
Now think about that. We're talking about an entire industry in the United States of America.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know factory workers that make $100,000. I used to work around a shitload of them.
Police officers.
Yeah,
fire
a
department,
cop working overtime. Firemen can make $100,000.
No, it's a way, and first of all, it has never been a billion-dollar industry. I'm drawing in my memory, but the SGMA used this, what is that? It's athletic whatevers. They do surveys. I think they pinned it between 300 and 400 million, and I believe that was close to its peak. So, you know, I don't know if anybody understands how much $1 billion is, but every once in a while a thing will appear on the internet, because, like, how much is $1 and $1 million and $1 billion and $1 trillion? It's mind-boggling. You know, so, you know, a billion is a million millions, though, or 1,000 millions. 1,000 millions. So it's just.
But I really think
there's no money.
There's not the money,
No.
And the thing of it is, you know.
And the money that's out there is not appreciated. Do you know we add $92,000 to our amateur nationals? And that's questionable. If our expenses keep going up, we can't do that anymore, because unfortunately our expenses keep going up, and our income doesn't. Right. And so we're wrestling like everybody else. It's a tough time, you know. And that's why, I mean, I wish we could add 50,000 to the U.S. Open 10 ball, but we break even at our 25,000 added. We can't go anymore. But that's also because we get very little corporate sponsorship. It's all out of our pocket. You know, a sponsor, they give you $1,000, they think they're really helping you out. Well, it does help. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
But it doesn't go anywhere. You know, $1,000 won't even buy you a full-page ad in one of the billiard magazines.
Right.
You know, it's just, geez.
No, I mean, that's one of the things, and I was talking to you about this earlier today, is I suck at sponsorship. I mean,
it's the hardest. So are we.
And the thing of it is, it's like, I've actually gotten to the point now where I don't even try. I mean, like, I'll get, and the thing of it is, after you've responded to your 60th email, somebody wanting to trade you a gross of chalk for a title sponsorship.
I know, it's
for a match with Shane and Alex, that, you know.
And trade outs just don't work.
Yeah. And the thing of it is, you know, I understand why people do it, and sometimes, you know, I'm not bashing on people who do try to do things. I'm just saying that, you know, it's real hard to pay for airplane tickets and hotel rooms with
Q sticks.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did that a couple of times, and it's unfortunate because it doesn't do anything for us. We end up giving the cue sticks away, or this is where. So actually, it costs us money to have them as a sponsor, because now we got to figure out how to ethically dispose of the cue sticks.
Right.
And we've never put them on eBay or anything like that. But it's just, it's really an unfortunate situation. And
but trust me, there's no real. It's not like there's a bunch of millionaires out there wiping their ass with $100 bills, laughing at not sponsoring anything in pool.
But there are a couple people in this industry could step up that don't step up.
Well, the thing of it is, and that's one thing is, nobody should tell me how to spend my money. I'm not going to tell anybody else to spend their money.
Totally agree.
And to me, when somebody comes up with a plan that has a legit return on investment that makes sound sense, then to me, a good plan is a good plan. And, when it's put together and reasonable, the only thing is somebody's got to come up with it.
Well, it's not going to happen. Yeah. Not today or tomorrow. And I'm a real, trying to think of the proper term, but I'm not going to go out to Brand X and sell them something. Say, listen, we're going to get 10 million people to watch your product. Give me $10,000. And then reality comes in and 1,000 people showed it. Now he's all pissed off at me and the industry. I won't do that. It's important you do it ethically.
Right, and that's another problem Pool's had is there's been a lot of that. They sell the dream, and it's not, and then
they burn up the sponsor.
Right, and a guy walks in, he goes,
"Really?
This is what I paid for?"
Yeah. Well, and you have some people that have burned up locations, casinos. The Indian casinos on the West Coast have had a problem. They get burned up, and then now they don't want anything to do with it. Now, by that person's. Sometimes it's innocent. They think it's one of their first events. They think they're going to bring 1 million people, and it just doesn't work. But it really injures the whole industry. But you got to keep trying.
Got some more questions here.
Yeah, this one is a little bit more of a question and answer week, I guess. We ate before we had our meeting. Now we're both half asleep, so it's usually we eat afterwards.
How much would you guess APA as a whole brings in per year?
Not even going to go there.
That's from my... brother from another mother, Cleary.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can do simple math on a couple things. I'll just say $25 a member. How many members do they have?
I don't know.
Well, they say 250. Okay, what's that? $6.25 million. And take 20% of that per week at $1 a week. I don't know, 20 cents. I mean, the numbers get pretty big. You can run them on a piece of paper. I'm going to guess $12-15 million. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. I mean, that's just take the numbers off their websites. Just multiply it out. It's a lot. And more power. Listen.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not against the APA. They have a different model than we have. And I've known Terry Bell. This is aging myself. I've known Terry Bell since 1969. That's 42 years. For you that don't know, Terry Bell is one of the founders of the APA. And they do a tremendous job for what they're doing. I disagree with a lot of their philosophies, and that's fine. No big deal. It's up to the players to decide what they want to do. They can support us, they can support them, or they can support both. Main thing is support pool.
Cali Red's got a good question here, especially for you since you're old. Do you enjoy watching pool back 20 years ago more so than watching pool now? Were the characters more exciting, interesting?
Well, watching live, or is it Memorex or on tape? You couldn't watch much of it on TV 20 years ago, other than ESPN stuff.
I'm guessing he's talking about like tournaments.
Yeah, because I've never been a person that can sit there and watch a match unless it's like a good one-pocket match or something like that. Because I think the people just run out so much more now than they used to. There's no strategy. There's just firepower. As far as watching on TV, I can't watch it on TV.
Because it's cut up so much?
And I can't stand most of the announcers. They're just bad. They're beyond bad.
Yeah.
I mean, after 10 years, they don't know what a safe is. Just come on. But the characters were far better 20 years ago. My perfect concept for a sitcom was Cheers in a pool hall. And I can just see it playing on a golf table. Anybody that's been around a golf table, I mean, I never was in San Francisco, but I playing those games. I keep hearing about ears and some of those guys. I mean, these old farts, they just knit you to death and just beat you to death and complain. And it's just the characters, the color. I mean, look, McCready hasn't hit a ball in 10 years for hardly, except that one year showed up at the U.S. Open. And he's still, everybody wants to see Keith because his charisma, his character, his, and that's why Alex is so popular. Yeah. Yeah, we don't have characters now. We do have characters, but they're not pleasant characters. You know sometimes.
Why? Well, no,
they're prima donnas.
Here's the thing. I think Poole is a victim. The reason there's not any characters is because they've all been bred out. Because you know why? If you're going to be on TV, you can't say anything. You got to sit there in your golf shirt and wait till the producer points at you to get up.
Well, for the TV stuff.
Well, no, but I mean, but that's what the guys all aspire to. So now all your top pros. Now there's one thing that, and we'll see. Like to me, what some people call character is just, and it's different people. Like some people in the pool that are considered characters, I just consider fucking loudmouths. I mean, sorry for my language, but that's what it is. They're just loudmouths. They'll get up and they scream and they bark and they woof.
Yeah.
And to me, a little bit of that.
Yeah, but it gets old real fast.
A little bit of that. You see some guys that'll, they make their games, they do what they're doing, and if time calls for it, they'll bark a little.
Yeah.
But you get the guys that all they ever do is bark.
I'm going to agree with you.
It's like, to me...
Well, they take the fun out of it.
Yeah, it's annoying. It's like you look at it, and it really is. It's like a barking dog. You just shut up, man.
But one thing I don't like, and we haven't really gotten away with it yet, but my ideal pool tournament would be is you got to have some noise. This playing pool in a library is... I think you should root for your team. You should clap, you should whistle, you should shout. Hey, go to a basketball game. You got 300 people waving those damn balloons where the guy's trying to make a free shot.
Right.
I mean, I'm not saying you go quite that far in a pool tournament, but you should have some emotion. You should have some waving signs. The typical thing is the Mosconi Cup. You got people hollering. I mean, pounding. I mean, you give you a headache. It's so noisy. But you need some reaction, some character. Go to any sporting event. Football, basketball. Baseball, of course, there are 50,000 people or 2,000 people, whatever, but there's noise. This in a sanatorium library, it's bad.
It's no good.
Bad.
No, well, and I think part of the problem is for a generation or two of pool players, the only thing they ever wanted they want to be pro golfers. Seriously. No, I'm dead serious.
Maybe the new crop, the Corey Dools, Johnny Archers,
they're
all fantastic golfers.
Yeah, well, no, but that's what they want. Their dream is to be treated like pro golfers.
Oh, to be treated like? I thought you meant to be pro golfers.
No, that's same thing. Yeah, but they want that lifestyle. They want all of that. And they want the same.
Yeah, but 20 years ago, the Cole Dixons and the Keith McCreadys and those guys. I don't think they played golf that much.
Right, they were pool players.
They played pool.
Right, exactly. And to me, it is what it is. I mean, I see both sides of it, but to me, I think the word character gets used wrongly a lot in pool, and don't get me wrong. It's like, and the other thing is, on this topic, I know that I am biased.
Well, we're both biased, and again, I mean, these are our viewpoints, and I'm seeing things. I wish, and I had somebody make a post on AZ Billiards, and I responded like, "You don't know what the hell you're talking about." Anytime somebody says that, well, you should do this, this, and this, and we disagree, I tell you what, our office is at 2041 Pabco Road. Get your butt over here, and you can sit in my desk for a day. See how you like it. I mean, I don't care if that means you want to see how much comes in the door, how much goes out within certain. You guys, you're gonna walk away with a headache. And these people that think they know it all when they don't know jack, it's really aggravating because it's a tough business. All business is tough today, but some of these people, they got to use common sense, which once again goes back to if you want to have a debate with me, you better tell me your name or we ain't getting very far. We might get one post out and that's it.
Mark's talking about the recent. Rash of trolls on AZ Billiards.
Well, some of these guys. There's a couple people that just need to go away. And I'm sure that Mr. Wilson knows who they are. I just wish... And he actually addressed one of them. One of them went away. But, wow. it's supposed to be intelligent discussions.
No, it's easy for a whole forum can get thrown off when things are. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I quit reading. I didn't read a whole lot this week just because some of the threads I was interested in got completely hijacked.
Yeah,
and not in a no. It's just it's just stupid.
Yeah, some of these people don't. Some of these people are. I mean, I mean, I can't even imagine playing pool. I can't imagine what their thought process is. They act like 6-year-olds sometimes. But
the thing of it is, a lot of it's trolling, and to me, I don't know.
That's a different mindset altogether.
I participate on other boards, and that just doesn't happen.
Yeah. I've heard that, and I don't go to very many. I've never really been to any.
It's it's one of those things to where there's always a balance, but I guess eventually, if enough people make enough noise, it's handled.
Yeah, but we don't expect to. We can't be everything for everybody. All we can do is keep trying and pushing forward. But I am serious. If people have intelligent questions, pick up the phone and call me. And if you got
suggestions
or a suggestion, we need suggestions. We need more input into this because we get stale. Justin and I, we kick a lot of things around. How to make a pro tour, how to do this, how to do that, and they're not single thoughts. They're part of a package because you can go out and do a pro tour tomorrow if you want to blow a lot of money. You got to make something that's sustainable, and that's the whole key. You need sponsorship. You need players. You need players willing to work for more money tomorrow than today, and it's. There's the old saying, "Through the ashes comes the rebuilding." I look at our industry is on a downward slide. It's sliding down, and I don't see a bottom yet. So let's let it get there, and we'll see what happens.
I don't even think it's the industry so much. I think it just pool's going the same way as everything else. I mean, there's not a lot of booming businesses out there right now, and there's a lot of people that are scared, and people that are scared don't spend a lot I
Well, it doesn't have to be about money. Pool's a recreation.
Resources and time. I mean, you're in the tournament business. Tournament. If you want to come to your tournament, you're going to spend $2,000.
Oh, it's expensive, and it's
the thing of it is, that guy who comes to your tournament every year, maybe he says, or maybe his wife says, maybe next year, maybe we skip a year.
Yeah. No, I understand. I totally understand.
And not only that, but it's that way all over, man. Yeah. Cue retailers, cue guys.
They're crying. They're crying.
I mean, every show this year, I've been to almost every big tournament this year, and I haven't. And I always talk to the vendors. Always.
It's a pulse.
Yeah. So I always talk to the vendors. Hey, how you doing? How's the show? And nobody this year at any show has said this is really great.
Yeah.
The best I've gotten is we did okay. We made some money.
Yeah. Yeah, and you can't pick up 8,000 cue sticks, throw them in your trailer, and drive 4,000 miles, and
right.
Fuel's at $3.50 a gallon. I mean, everything, and this is we can't solve that problem.
Well, we don't want. And the other thing is this is the third one of these we've done, and we're not trying to get on here and just constantly bitch about what's wrong. We'd like to offer some help and suggestions, and we hope you would too. And well, actually, one thing we got coming up, we're still looking for a solution.
Oh yeah,
the bar table at the U.S. Bar Table Championships, February of this year, Reno at the Grand Sierra, new beautiful place.
Fancy. Yeah. 3949 room. That's double occupancy, no resort fee, free shuttle, 20 restaurants, blah blah blah.
And I'm super pumped about that.
Yeah.
But you're going to have 16 9-foot tables there. What, Monday through Thursday?
Well, they're going to be there.
Weekend,
right?
Because you got a weekend tournament coming in
on starting Thursday night, or we could push that. But anyhow, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday is the World PPA inaugural tournament. Mm-hmm. They're expecting about 100, 125 people. And we're going to play that in the evening. So if you played in the bar table during the day in 8-ball, that's the only one that coincides, then you can play in the big tables at night. Mm-hmm. Because we'll do juggling with the schedule. So that's terrific. But we have those 16 tables non-committed from Monday through Thursday.
So now, let's go, guys.
That means
what would you do with 16 9-footers?
Why doesn't one of these
ballroom?
Why don't 3 top one pocket players each put up $667? each.
Yeah.
Now we got a $2,000 added one pocket tournament.
Yeah.
Open to anybody in the world. You can handicap it. Brandon Schuff had a great idea. Mix it up a little bit. Play one pocket to points.
Yeah.
So if I'm a pro, I play to 45. If I'm I play to 40. If I'm an amateur, I play to 30. And each you play all, and you could do some really cool things. It'd be fun. Make it cheap. Make it a $50 tournament.
Right.
Get your mother to come out and play.
Well, that's the
Make
other
it as
thing
a
is,
learning process,
you know,
and
it's
we can.
all there.
It's there. I mean, and this is going to be a tester. We're going to start putting it out on all the forums and stuff. The only downside is during the week. But you got cheap tables, cheap venue. Reno's not that bad to get to. You can fly there with Southwest and everything. If you're on the West Coast, you drive there. And you can play in a bar box tournament during the day and this at night.
Right.
It's really an opportunity for somebody to try something out and have some fun.
Yeah, I mean, you could, you know, I'm certain that something interesting. I mean, I really hope something interesting will come up.
We've had a couple suggestions, but nothing's quite gotten any traction yet.
And the thing, you know, if I wasn't going to be so busy doing the bar table tournament, you know, I'd find something to do. I'd come up with a couple thousand. You know, we're
going to do something.
You know.
I have no idea. It might be just mini tournaments every night, but I mean, we've got the tables. We're going to do something. You know, I mean, we've had people say, "Well, why don't you have Scott Frost and Lana come in and give lessons?" Well, maybe we'll have. You know, who knows? I mean, it's very seldom that you get 16 tables that are non-committed for 4 days. And it's just, it's an experiment. We want to prove to the hotel that we can deliver. The World PPA thinks that their event will grow. I do too. And they'll let anybody play. They'll rate you so you can play right away on the handicap side.
Tom said he'll run a one-pocket tournament, double elimination, race to 15 balls made.
Race to 15 balls. That's going to be fast. Parika ran 15 on me the last time I tried this.
Yeah.
Damn him. A little midget. Well, Tom, we should talk. You know, and I'm not so sure double elimination is the way to go. But that's for another debate, because we could have, you got 4 nights. You could have 4 different tournaments.
Yeah.
Double eliminations, they're nice things, but they also take a long time. You can get people have more fun in a single elimination sometimes, you know, and you're not sitting around. You could play a single elimination. When you get knocked out of that, you go play in another single elimination. Mm-hmm. But the tables are there, and we got to come up with something. So, but that's a start. Tom was the tournament director at Sacramento Hard Times. For everybody that doesn't know that, he's retired.
Yeah.
He's tired and retired. I heard. No.
Got a question here from Callie Red. What quick story do you have about an incident, a match, a tournament moment, something you were glad you witnessed it?
The funniest one I ever saw was the first professional tournament I ever went to. And listen, I lived in Alaska for 58 years. I didn't see very many professional tournaments or players, except for road players. This had to be about 1970. And there was 3 or 4 of us flew from Anchorage, Alaska, and went to the Jointed Cues tournament. It was their Father's Day tournament. Terry Stonier, who was kind of like called the father of pool. It was out of Sacramento. But this one was not in his pool room. This was at the El Rancho, I believe. There was 2 of them he did out of his pool room. And I was watching. They had bleachers, and I mean, Minnesota Fats was there. In fact, I walked in, and they were running behind putting the cloth, and I clothed 3 of the tables for him, because I was a pretty good mechanic. Fats was there, and I saw Mattia, and that's where I met Tony Anagoni and Al the plumber and all these guys, all right? What's that little short guy who used to live in Reno? Plays really good.
Reno
Toby.
Shorty?
No. No, you'd know him. All the Sacramento people know him. A little strange at times. He was a dealer at Black. Anyhow, he was there. First time I ever saw a jump shot. He jumped over a ball. But the most interesting thing I saw was Cole Dixon was playing a guy, a side match. They had a table of practice, and he missed a shot. And he took that stick and just broke it right over his knee, just like that. I mean, boy, he just shook his head, no remorse, goes over and gets another shaft. Didn't miss a ball for the rest of the week. Got that out of his system. And I think he was playing, I see I'm bad on Ray. Ray, not Baby Ray. Used to be a pretty good player. I saw McCready.
Ray Martin.
No. I saw McCready beat this guy even up and then he played him left-handed. And somewhere along the line, McCready gave him the 5-ball. But McCready was playing so good then. I mean, he'd come up to a shot that you're not even supposed. What are you doing? And he just kind of gets up, looks at it, kind of does that little side stroke, spins the old, just unbelievable. Guy was amazing. McCready was off the charts when he was in the zone. It was like poetry. There's been one of him. But I didn't go to that many professional tournaments, so I heard stories. I heard stories about Craig Stevens playing for 4 days, never missing. Just going for these goofy, crazy shots because he could see it in his head he could make it.
One of the things that sticks with me is I used to go to the Lexington All-Star tournaments.
Yes, that was before my time. So you're talking about 70s?
No. This would have been early, mid-90s, I guess. And then I guess they ran some towards the late 90s, too. But I just remember it was Alex and Corey running together at that time. And they were both like 18, 19 years old. Kids. I mean, just kids. Because it was before Corey won the U.S. Open, I'm pretty sure. But anyway, Alex is playing Nick Varner in the tournament. And just they're both playing great. And Alex down on a ball, and he gets up, and he looks at the ball, and he looks up at Nick, and he looks at the ball, and he looks at Nick, and he goes, "Nick, your hair's on the ball." And, Nick just kind of looks at him, kind of like, how the hell do you know it's my hair? And Nick walks over and he goes, "Look, see, it's gray." And for some reason,
just stuck in your head.
It's always stuck with me. And that's Alex, man. That was the first tournament I ever saw Alex. And he's always been one of my favorite guys ever since.
First time I saw Alex was at I think it was at a bar table event in Vegas. It was either the VNEA, because we used to go down for that, or the BCA, and he matched up with Tony Watson. Tony Watson, he had all this two-tone, beautiful Justice case or whatever, real slick looking and everything. I can't remember who won because they both played like God. It was amazing, and they both looked like they're 13 years old.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah.
Alex still looks like he's about 13.
Yes.
Mark? What is your relationship with Tony Anagoni?
Very strained. There's no point in even discussing Tony Anagoni.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a funny Mark Griffin, Tony Anagoni story.
Uh-oh.
Should I tell it?
I don't know which one.
We were having breakfast. We were going to, was it the Golden Nugget? I went down to meet him because there was going to be a meeting at the Golden Nugget or something.
I didn't know you were there. Yeah, we were with LeBlanc and and Robert Tobin.
Yes.
Because
and
Rick Jones called me from Reno.
So this time there was a tournament going on up there in Reno with Rick Jones, and I think somebody was streaming it. Isn't that what it was?
They were trying to.
I'll let you tell. You tell it better.
Well,
than
I don't. It was just crazy. I mean, and I don't.
Well, you got to tell the story before you tell if it's crazy or not. This is a funny story. Maybe I tell it better than you.
Yeah, you should probably tell it.
Because I see him on the phone with Rick Jones, and his face just starts getting red. And he's just getting red, and I can see...
This is Sunday morning. This is Sunday morning.
He's getting pissed, and he doesn't ever really get mad. He just doesn't. So I see him, he's getting pissed. I don't even remember what the hell he said, but I asked him what was going on. He goes, well, Tony Anagoni was going to go around and tape over all of the Diamond logos on all the tables.
The streaming table.
Yeah, because they weren't paying him anything for having the Diamond tables on the stream.
Yeah, they were going to have a junior event after our event, and they were streaming. I can't remember. Oh, AZ Billiards was streaming, in fact. So Mike Howerton even called me.
Yeah, that was Mike up there.
And I said, listen, Mike, this is a Sunday afternoon. If Tony Anagoni, listen, he only wanted $10,000 for the Diamond name to be shown. And I just blew up. I says, you guys are out of your friggin' mind.
Yeah.
It's Sunday morning at 10 o'clock. We've only been up there, getting ready to go up there for the last 3 months. And I'm going to tell you something else. We don't even have a contract with Tony Anagoni. Our contract is with the Sands Hotel.
Yeah.
And we're not bringing our tables up there so we can pay $10,000
no.
so somebody can stream.
The tournament was going on when he did this.
It was the juniors.
No. Remember, because you were talking about pull the tables out.
Yeah.
During the tournament.
It was the juniors.
No, it was during the tournament. Like the finals was going on.
It was the juniors. I'm telling you, it was the World Juniors.
I know
the
it
World
was.
Juniors,
I know
WPA
it was.
Juniors.
But the tournament was going on.
Yes. Oh, yeah, no, the tournament was actually, they were getting ready to do the streaming on the final games.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden he wants to hijack us.
Right, that's what I'm
talking about. And then he
about.
takes duct tape and covers up Diamond.
Yeah.
Rick takes it off. Tony gets it, puts it back on. Now, we had a guy up there that was working with us by the name of Bull. He's
I know
just
Bull.
about your size.
Yeah, I know Bull.
And I says, Rick, this is real simple. You have Bull go over, take the tape off, and stand next to him. It got so bad that the manager of the hotel came down and just told Tony to sit down, shut up, and play pool. It was just so out of line, and it was totally unnecessary. We'll work with anybody, but not 10 minutes before it's happened. It's not my decision. Call Diamond.
Yeah.
You can call them all day. They're not answering the phone on Sunday.
Right.
You know, and Tony really blew it really, really bad when he had this last event at the Peppermill. And it's one of those, it's a sticky on AZ Billiards. It has 907 posts last time I checked it. Because he never paid the players. He owes them about $25,000. Just what the industry needed. But Tony's got his own problems. I'm not here to bash Tony. I just don't do business with Tony. He's one of the few people that are not welcome at my events.
Mm-hmm. What else we got?
But, you know, let's talk about something good.
Yeah.
You know, and you can respond to those and everything. I've been talking with, haven't done very much business with them, contributed a few things, but there's a group, the Rack Stars girls,
Right, yeah.
out of New York. Robert Moore is the gentleman I've been talking to. There's also Gail Glazebrook, Jennifer Beretta, and there's another gentleman that I've heard him on Run Out Radio, but I do not know his name. I can't remember his name. And we're assisting them behind the scenes on their Rack Stars. Their opening thing is at Amsterdam is Friday.
Should be a good party.
They're actually, he told me they're getting some pretty good exposure. It starts, the whole thing starts tomorrow. They got ESPN involved, Sports Illustrated, got some people coming in from international people like Argentina, blah, 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 plus some industry people. And I'm not going to tell you who, but a related company, which is Dick Clark from Six Pocket, they're doing some joint ventures on some things. They are talking to a major television event promoter, producer. He's not a flake. He's a real live guy, and he does real live big time things. Do I think that they have the magic bullet? No, but they're getting access to people that can make it work, and that's pretty exciting. So more power to them. You know.
Yeah. Good luck.
Yeah, and good luck, and so you know there is good news. You know, maybe.
Mosconi Cup. Give me your pick.
I'm going to say, I went to London last year, and now that's pretty amazing. I went to York Hall. There was 500 Brits and 11 Americans. We were almost even. No, it was. They were.
That's
they were.
It's like one of my favorite lines from the movie Hooper with Burt Reynolds. He gets out there getting in a fight with Terry Bradshaw and a bunch of SWAT cops, and he counts them. He goes, 9 guys. He turns around and he counts. He goes, 6. Sorry, but you guys got to go get some more guys.
It was exciting at York Hall. They were extremely boisterous, very loud. The place ran out of beer, but twice, you know, and they drink it. Those boys,
Brits are awesome, man.
But
they know how to get down.
It was in good fun. They treated us respectfully, but they did want to beat us, and it was the atmosphere was electric. Now, if America can pull off 50% of that, which I don't expect them to, I will actually pick the Americans to win. And because I think a lot of it is momentum.
You just said it right there, in my opinion.
I've said last week and the week before, all those guys can play good. Yeah, everybody says, oh, yeah, but Deshane's unproven. I'm not too worried about Deshane. I think he's going to do fine.
I think, you know, if you match them up across from each other.
We're not playing races to 50. We're playing a race to 3 or something.
Exactly,
whatever it is.
and that's the rub, because honestly, I think you put the 5 Americans in against the European guys playing a 10 ahead set, I think America runs over them. But No, I do.
Really? I didn't. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, look at the squads. I mean, Johnny, Rodney, Shane. That's 3 real hard guys to beat.
Yeah, Shane's the toughest to beat, but in a race to 3, nothing means nothing.
But that's what I mean is, and the other thing is where I think Europe has an advantage that the U.S. is going to have a real hard time overcoming is they're built for this.
They're disciplined.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure that's what you mean by built, but that's discipline.
I mean, they come in and it's, they have a team mentality and it's, we're going to do this and, we're coming here to go to work,
They play better together. They play, they're a team. Whereas, and this comes back to that American mentality. They can say, oh, no, we're a team. Nah. And getting to Charlie Williams being captain, I said last week, I actually think he'll be a good captain. All this debate and everything, my problem wasn't with his abilities. So, hey, we'll wait and see. But I really think...
But I think what you said, I mean, right now going in, I like Europe. But I think momentum is a big deal.
Yeah.
I think and the other thing is, I think Europe likes Europe. I think they're... You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, I think they probably feel like they might be coming in a little the favorite after last year, and
they've
some
won,
of the, what do you want to call it? Not dissent, but just all the commotion surrounding the American team. But I think the key for the Americans is going to be get in there early, get a lead if possible. If not, keep it tight. I think if you see the Euros come out, and put a lot of pressure on the Americans right away, I think the Americans are going to have a real hard time coming back. I mean, I think the Americans need to get out front, is what I think.
Yeah, the mechanics of it are a little odd. I mean, you have to be, for Matchroom's sake, because it's a made-for-TV thing. And keep in mind, it's a made-for-TV thing. Everybody gets a little too emotional. It's for TV. They have to. The score can't be too far apart, or they don't have the last day or so. And so I want Matchroom to get a good show, because those guys are pretty good guys. And
no, absolutely.
The only thing I wish we could get it on TV, and I'd even make a deal. Say, give me the 100% control of that content for North America. Give it to me for 2 years. Let me see if I can do something with it. You're not getting anything out of it now. Right. Just give it to me. Right. Let me go out and sell spots and do this and do that. And, hey, we might get it on some cable. We might get it somewhere. I mean, I don't know. Never tried it before. Yeah. But because it's a great product. And they do tremendous work. Yeah, their camera work and stuff is awesome. So.
One thing Cleary said, Europe always likes Europe. Kind of my point was, I remember back in the day.
Well, they don't have Miko this year, and
he's
a little bit of that egotistical thing. These other guys don't quite strut as high as
no,
Miko,
but the thing of it is, I remember what I'm talking about is I remember back in the day when America used to just guerrilla rape Europe every year. It was just like, I mean, that was just, that was it, and it's not like that anymore. Now it's
Europeans game. Well. Two things, Europeans' game and China and Asia, everybody's game is elevated. I don't think the American game has really gone down, but it hasn't gone up.
No, the rest of the world's caught up, man.
Other than Shane. And DeShane is a newcomer, but he has the potential to be up there. But Shane is the only dominating player. But in a race to 3 or a race to 5, or I don't even hardly know what it is, it's just not dominating.
That whole format, it really is good at what it does.
It neutralizes.
It generates. But the other thing is, like any sporting contest, it can turn into a blowout pretty quick.
That break, you got to get 3 past the line. Sometimes you can hit them really hard and nothing happens.
Right.
Yeah. So, but it is what it is. 3 years. Let's see. 2 years ago it was at MGM, and so 4 years ago. 4 years ago they were giving away seats. 2 years ago. But they got the MGM to put it on the marquee, and they put it when you go in and checked into the hotel. That's what was showing on the TVs behind your check-in register. This year they've added another 100 seats. More power to them. That's not what it's all about. They could care less if the seats are sold or given away. They just need a good crowd because, in all honesty, that budget is paid. It's a whole different market, and people don't understand that. That is not funded by private parties. Barry Hearns does not go to his pocket and put in $80,000 or $100,000. He gets paid to do this event. in Europe, and I don't understand the whole thing, but in England, they have what is called a teletax. And I don't know, but I think it's about $100 per television per year. If you had 3 televisions in your home, you get to send $300 to the teletax people. And a lot of that goes to the BBC, and they fund the things like the snooker tour and all these types of things. That's where all that TV time comes from. They got this
Mark's
bottomless...
wrong. You just sent an email to
Yeah.
Mark at play.
Well, the concept is reasonably, I'm not saying I'm that accurate, but the concept is it's outside funds. That's why they get 400 hours of snooker a year. That's why they get these people doing the CueSports because it's funded. We don't have that mechanism in the United States. We have PBS, public broadcast system, but it's not funded that way. Mm-hmm. So there's a completely different, it's just completely different.
Okay, we're right at an hour now. So
really, well,
one more thing I want to talk about.
Well, I got one thing I want to mention too, but you go ahead. You go ahead.
TAR 23. We got Oscar Dominguez taking on Raj Handal. They're going to be playing 10 ball, and we're excited about this format because it is race to 25, 5,000 a set. If they split, they come back on the third day, play it all for 10. So
9 ball.
10 ball.
But that's right. This is the one we were betting on whether it would last 5 hours or not.
Right.
So,
yeah.
Okay.
So I'm just real excited to be working with both of those guys. We've worked with Oscar before, and Oscar.
They'll both be gentlemen.
Oscar is what every pool player should want to be. I mean, the kid he's professional. He's nice. He's a good dude. He's honest, real.
His word's good. He shows up.
Absolutely, and I mean, Oscar is.
And he goes to work, and he goes to school. So it's pretty sporty. And his dad is a gem.
Oh, absolutely.
I've known Ernesto off and on for 20 years, I guess.
And Raj is a showman, which is why I like working with him. Is because he knows how to sell it, and he wants to win.
Yeah.
He wants to win. So.
Well, then and don't forget this other little event we got coming up here soon with Mr. Earl and Mr. Shane.
Yeah. Well, TAR 22. Yeah. That's the week before, December 2nd through the 4th.
Yeah. That's
maybe we'll raffle off like a little Earl package with like some earmuffs and a magnifying glass, maybe like some shards of a shaft that was broken in anger.
Yeah. And I got one other thing I want to talk about. Besides, as you can tell, that this week's a whole lot different than the other weeks. But we're just trying to mix it up and see what works, make sure everybody talks to us. I was fortunate enough to get invited to a 3-day affair at Caesars. They do it annually. Mm-hmm. You only get invited very seldom. It's really a subtle sales pitch that Caesars does. They had like 150 guests and 150 salespeople. But since we're moving to a Caesars property, which is the Rio, in 2013, that's why we were invited. One of their guest speakers was a guy by the name of Roger Dow. Roger Dow is president of the United States Travel Association. This is the world works in funny ways. When 9/11 hit, the travel business dropped tremendously, and the meetings and conventions went from like $760 billion to like $600 billion. That's $160 billion different. Now, that really affects Nevada because of Las Vegas and all the conventions, and this is the type of thing they're talking about. And they started screaming at the Obama administration saying, wait a minute, your TSA restrictions are making it impossible for people. People will not travel to conventions, which means hotels are closing, which means it's one of them vicious cycles. Let's turn it around. They actually had a meeting with the Obama administration. With the whole crew, we saw the pictures, like 20 staff and 4 or 5 of their guys. They came out with a test program. It's only in 4 cities, and it's only for a couple of airlines. But what they're doing is they're taking frequent flyers, and they're like screening them. Like, say I fly a lot, pretty soon I get a little card. I'm not sure how they do it. And I almost get a free pass going on the airlines. They basically, I have to go through the same process. But the machine, they just, instead of cranking it up, they turn it down to like nothing. I don't have to take a computer out of my case, don't have to take my shoes off, don't have to take my belt off, and I just walk through. Mm-hmm. I talked to him about cue sticks. He did not realize there's 40 million pool players in this country, and since you can't carry them on, now you got to pay $25 to get there and $25 to get back, and this and that. He says, that is really interesting. That's the kind of information they need. So they are going to take that information to the TSA. They are actually meeting They have this structure set up now to meet with the top TSA people. That's pretty exciting. Because even if I could check my lug, I don't want to check my cue stick in the belly of an airplane and let them throw a 400-pound bag on top of it. So I mean, because this has been a pet peeve of mine.
Right.
You know, a ballpoint pen is a better weapon than a pool cue.
Right.
And you can't swing a pool cue. The passenger next door is going to grab it.
Well, I saw a guy walk on an airplane I was on once
canes
with a skateboard.
Yeah.
It was a giant friggin' skateboard, and you know, it's got two solid metal objects on a big ass board. I mean, you know,
tennis rackets, canes, all these things. I just think that
stupid.
Well, I think maybe they're getting somewhere because 99% of the people that fly planes don't want to blow it up. Okay? So spend your time on the 1% that might. And that's the philosophy, really, you know. I mean, I might have had a bad day, but I'm not going to blow up the damn plane.
There's a sig line in there somewhere. 99%.
Well, it's probably more than 99%, actually, you know. But the concept is pretty sound. You know, screen people that fly a lot and get them on board fast. Spend your energies on the people that could cause the threat. But there's progress being made, because I know there's been some pet peeves on this thing, and I think it's great that we could maybe get somewhere.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be fantastic.
So I don't really have a lot to say. I mean, I wish everybody the best in pool. We got Thanksgiving coming up, but I guess we might have one more of these before that. I don't even know. So
when is Thanksgiving? 24th?
It's Thursday.
Thursday? Yeah, one more.
Isn't Thanksgiving also Canada Day or something like that? Isn't there a common...
I don't know. I just wish we quit fooling around and just colonize Canada and get it over with. Be better for everyone involved.
Who wants it?
Canadians.
Now that their money's worth more than ours.
Too, just in that. Yeah. I'm just kidding.
You know, this was a little lighter. That's cool. Talk to us. We're accessible. Mark G at playcsipool.com. Suggestions are worth their weight in gold.
Yeah, anything you guys come up with for that 9-foot thing.
Yeah. And I did have a discussion with Mr. Chad over at Diamond Billiards and talking about 10-foot table. And we'll probably end up with one out here. They're still in the process of, you know, that Diamond's doing that new event in Tunica in July. I don't have the specs in front of me. In July.
Yeah.
And after that's over, because they've committed the 4 10-footers for there, after that's over, possibly one of them will wander its way out here. So I can beat you.
Cool. I'm not scared.
You should be.
All right. Well, let's wrap it up. I just want to say thank you to everyone who joined us. We've got a lot of our friends out there. Big Tony.
I have both of my friends.
Brooklyn J.
Oh, yeah.
Callie Red. Your lovely wife, Miss Sunny Griffin.
Hey, and if you have any idea for some guests, I know Rick from Bad Boys will probably pop his head in here when he gets in town next time. Greg Sullivan's liable to be in town here for the Moscone Cup.
Jerry Forsyth. We'll get Jerry to sit down here.
Yeah.
The Thursday night before December 1st, we're going to try and do like a super duper podcast. Earl and Shane's going to be here. Jerry's going to be here. We might just do a big ass round table pool.
You know, and just so give us some ideas. The other thing we didn't touch on is you were going to have the Shane interview.
Yeah, there's some audio issues.
He's having Justin screwed up again, and you know it's
very possible. I tried a new mic setup,
and it sounds like it got. So well, listen.
Don't hold your breath on that one, kids.
I know Shane's deaf. Is he mime too?
No.
But bad joke.
Damn.
But so that way maybe we can learn. You know, you could still understand it. I mean, you could. You know.
What the hell are you talking about, man?
People want to hear what he had to say. You should just.
Well, I'll tell you what he had to say. He says what Shane always says. I just like to play. I want to play the best in the world. I really like pool.
You can't beat me.
And you can't beat me. No, he didn't say you can't beat me. Yeah. But one thing he did, the whole gist of the interview was that he really likes playing Earl. And I asked him about what happened last time, because last time was some hairy shit.
You were there,
man.
I wasn't.
It was.
But that was the atmosphere of the people.
It won't be like that here.
No.
No way could it be like that here.
Yeah, you told me. You said it was just like electric in the air. It was just so much
crazy.
tension.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's just not in a good way either. But, you know, it'll be a little more relaxed. But, you know, when Earl's in action, you know, nobody's sleeping. You know, everybody's paying attention. So,
how do you predict that?
You know,
Rogan predicted no prediction.
Yeah. What I would like to see, I mean, you know,
This is 3 races to 25, so it's 75.
No. It's a race to 75.
Race to 70. Well,
Yeah.
25, 25, 25.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know. Race to
But
75.
you know, Shane's of course the favorite.
Yep.
But the other thing is, Earl likes beating Shane just as much as Shane likes beating Earl. And I'll tell you right now, I talked to Earl the other day. I mean, when Earl plays, like, he trains. I mean, he runs.
Oh,
he does
like 5,
sit-ups.
6, 7 miles a day,
I mean,
500 sit-ups. He's an animal.
And he plays. I mean,
It's unbelievable. The guy's
he's-
50 years old.
Yeah. I mean,
Born in 61.
he takes this stuff serious. We've had some matches where guys kind of diddy-bop in, you know, let's play some pool, you know.
Not Shane,
and-
not these guys. Both of them.
Well, neither one of them. And I can tell you, you know, when Earl comes in here to play, he's coming here to win. And so is Shane. Yeah. And that's why I liked when these guys guys play.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about it, man. I'm excited about both tar matches, 22 and 23. I think the Raj and Oscar match is going to be jam up. I think that format's going to be really cool. I think we're going to see some great pool from both of those guys. So we got a lot going on in December. I'm super pumped.
Maybe these guys can come up with a suggestion for tar. What's the next number? 24?
Yeah.
For January sometime?
How can tar get new players on? It's real easy, man.
Bring money. Somebody put them in the box.
Somebody's got to put them in the box, or they got to put them in the box. I mean, you call me with a player that's got, you know.
We won't do exhibitions. Everybody's got to understand. This has to be real live, for real, no deals, no exhibitions. They're playing.
Yeah. Well, here's a question I want answered. Now maybe I'll start this thread. What if we did say, okay, fine, what we're going to do is we're going to put up $6,000, $4,000 to the winner, $2,000 to the loser. But it's not just going to be an exhibition. It's going to be a UFC. I mean, the UFC fighters get paid. Boxers get paid.
Sure.
You know.
Okay.
What if we did our own King of the Hill to where it was like, look, you know, and then we get to pick matchups. You know, if guys in the UFC had to pay $10,000, you know, to go fight, of course they're never going to fight anybody where they're the underdog. You know what I mean? But if they're taking a shot and it's like, look, you know, like a lot of UFC contracts, there's so much money to show up, so much money if you win.
Yeah. Well, this is similar. What your concept there is similar to what the Philippines are doing right now.
Yeah.
You know, theirs is 5,000 and 2,500, but they got TV. I mean, they got sponsors.
Right. But I mean,
we're underground.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Well, and I think as long as we're relying on outside money, I really, you know, we can grow at an incremental pace, but as long as we can't, you know, and that's the biggest thing about tar that sucks, is we can do everything in our power. I mean, we can get as good technically as we can get.
You can't make them
learning,
play.
But you cannot make them play.
Well, look at you. You had Appleton and Hatch. That was 20 a man, wasn't it? And they're going to rematch to this. Never happened. Of course, Appleton does not like long matches. Hatch won't play any other way. So you also have those things. And, you know, but, you know, it's just that we're going to have a lot of traffic coming into the U.S. en route to the Derby City. If we could put something together, it would be great. So we're sure open.
So, all right, let's
I got
wrap it
nothing
up.
more to say. I just, you know,
thanks.
I'm all done.
Thanks
Once again, sir. Another one in the can. And
everybody, we'll catch you next week.
You know, life does get better, even after pool.
Yeah, today was a sad day.
Yeah.
Today was a cranky day.
Cranky.
Yeah, today was a you're a dumb son of a bitch looking in the mirror day. But hopefully tomorrow will be better.
Well, tomorrow's always better.
Yeah.
And then you die.
Say goodnight, Mark.
Good night, Mark.